Welcome to this update video. Last time I tried to give you a rough description about Bartles' taxonomy. Today I want to dive down a little bit deeper. So let's reiterate a little bit. There are 4 types of players: achievers, explorers, socializer and killers. So with the knowledge we see here, we can see how the 4 player types act in the world. Today I wanted to talk about how certain types of players interact with each other. For now I wanted to focus on the player category we would include myself in. Killers. First of all, we have to talk about what defines killers, because it's not as obvious as you might think. Not all killers are PvPers. Some PvPers join for the fun and glory of winning a node war. Some explorers join are BFs because of the 200 energy. Just because someone does PvP does not mean they are killers. On the other hand, a shy with 152 AP and 500 DP can be a killer without getting any kills. Why? Because they can sit there and bongo while looking at you and saying,
"Do something against me if you can, do something against me."
You see, killers don't want to duel and don't care about winning. They are here to show off their dominance. You will never be able to kill a Zerker with full DR set, but if he grabs you and enough people are around, he will end your life. And it doesn't matter if you are a new player. Killers enjoy this kind of behavior, unlike game mechanics that forces players to act on player. This might sound pretty toxic, but it's their way of enjoying BDO. Now let's talk about something very abstract to me: an MMO ecosystem. You see, in a MMO like BDO, all player types exist and have a fair share of the community. You have explorers that can't wait for the next expansion, achievers getting their 5th Debo, socializers doing duo grind spots or dungeons, and last but not least, killers. All of these types have a big influence over the game, and they have to be monitored and regulated in order to keep the game's prosperity high. So let's take killers and see what happens if we change the number of players. I should mention that this is highly speculative and Bartles' taxonomy is very old, so take it for what it's worth. So first of all, let's take the biggest group of players we have in BDO, achievers. If we have a lot more killers around, the people who would suffer the most are achievers. Either directly, because killers will find a way to annoy you whilst grinding, or indirectly, by showing you the achievement you got is worthless. Killers love to pick on achievers. They seem decently challengeable, and they get mad when killed, giving killers a dopamine rush. Funnily enough, if you lower the amount of killers, a lot of achievers will lose interest in achieving as well. A big part about what makes an MMO interesting are the people, and a lot of achievers want to get better to pay back the killer that bugged them a few weeks ago. So achievers and killers are a rough equilibrium. Explorers are close to the same. As long as there aren't more killers than other player types, they don't decrease or increase. If we up the number of killers drastically, so that you couldn't leave a safe zone or join battle arena, explorers would vanish. Let's talk about the group killers have the biggest control over. Socializers are simple. They don't care about best in slot gear or peak efficiency. All they care about is having fun with others. So having people running around killing you in open world drastically takes the fun away, therefore making socializers leave the game. Lowering killers makes the game safer for talking and playing together, so if we remove killers, socializers would prosper. So now you know how killers interact with each player type. But how do you manipulate the amount of killers in BDO? This plays a big part in why I am making this video. You can control the amount via changing game mechanics. For example, let's talk about the karma changes. A killer gets punished severely for killing another player in the open world, so killers stop doing that. You might argue it is still doable on Arsha, but since there are 2 Arshas, now the only people fighting are killers versus killers, which neither of them enjoy. So this is one way to lower the amount of killers. Let's take an example for increasing the amount. In the abandoned monastery is a boss that spawns and everybody has a chance to kill it, but only one gets the loot. So people have to fight over the loot. Therefore, player acting on player is incentivized, creating a fun experience for killers. Even if the killer doesn't get the loot, they enjoy it. So more mechanics of this will up your killer count. The last thing I wanted to talk about is my personal opinion. I think BDO needs more killers, or at least more killer mechanics. Not because I want to have more toxicity in the game. From my point of view, it looks like PA tries to get rid of killers with the TOS enforcement over the last year. But Black Desert needs killers. Players are content. If players don't feel alike there is a reason to improve, they will stop playing the game. If all killers leave, this game will become a rankless game for the more discouraging people to leave. Thank you for watching this video. Please tell me if you want a video like this for the other player types. See you next time.